71 and multiplication and division of rational numbers. So lesson objective, I can multiply and divide rational numbers. Okay, and you can hit pause to make sure that you get that copied down before you move along. Remember that rational numbers, we're now going to start to include fractions and decimals. Right? So in our opening example, okay, actually we're going to do this one in class, so this one will already be filled in for you once we begin. Moving on to example number 2, and you're going to find some basic problems of just multiplying fractions, and then example number 3 is dividing fractions. So I'm going to show you these by hand, but also knowing that eventually you will be able to use a calculator to do this. So the biggest thing that, as we're working through these problems, and hopefully the focus comes back, is I really want to emphasize sign first. Most students make a mistake when they forget about the sign. So for each one of these problems, before I actually do the math of each one of these, we're going to determine what the sign is going to be. So for A, I'm going to make a little answer box over here. And I have a negative number times a positive number. A negative times a positive is a negative. All right, so now that I've got the sign down, I now no longer have to worry about the sign. I know my answer is negative, so I just do the math behind it. So we multiply. So we're really just taking 4/5 times 1/3. So we can look across to see if there's anything we can cancel out. There's no cross canceling, so we multiply across the top. 5, multiply across the bottom, 12. So this is negative 5/12. Right? B, sign first. We have a negative times a positive again. So before I do anything else, I'm going to stop. I'm going to get the sign. Right? So once I have the sign, then I'm going to go through, and here we have to, if you remember, get mad. Don't worry about the sign. Multiply, add, denominator. So 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5 fourths, times, and we have to put the 12 over 1. Right. So now I can look, 5 and 1, nothing, but I can do some cross-canceling here. 4 goes into 4 once, into 12 3 times. So we really have 5 times 3, which is 15. So I'm putting it in my answer box because it's a negative 15. Right. Here we've got a negative times a negative. And the third one, negative times a negative is a positive, so I'm going to get the answer right away. Okay, and we're going to have to get mad with both of these. So 7 times 1 is 7, plus 5 is 12 over 7. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5 over 2. So we'll look again to see if there's any cross-canceling that we can do. 5 and 7, there's nothing in common, but 2 and 12 we can. 2 goes into 2 once, into 12 6 times. So we can go 6 times 5, which is 30. 7 times 1, which is 7, and then we can do 7 goes into 34 times, 28 with 2 left, 2 sevenths. So we positive 4 and 2 sevenths. All right, make sure you hit pause if you have to get caught up. I know those problems went through pretty quickly. All right. Example number 3. Quotients. Quotients means divide. All right, but remember, the rules are the same signs. So we got a negative divided by a negative, so I'm going to make an answer box here. I'm going to make it plus. Okay, and remember, if it's positive, you don't have to put the plus sign in there, but it is good to kind of have that so you know. Remember, keep, change, flip. So we keep this one as 2/3. Now notice, I'm not doing anything. I already know what the sign is, so I don't even have to worry about the signs after the 7 over 10. Focus, come back. There we go. So we do 2 and 10. 2 goes into 2 once, into 10 5 times. So it's 1 times 7 is 7. 3 times 5 is 15. So we get 7 15ths. Right? For B, we have a negative divided by a negative again, which is a positive. Okay? So this one, we're going to write it as 2 over 1. We have to get mad with this one. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 4 is 19 over 5. But when we KCF, keep, change, flip, this turns to multiplication. This becomes 5 over 19. 1 and 5, nothing in common to cancel out. 2 and 19, nothing in common, so we just multiply across the top. 2 times 5 is 10. 1 times 19 is 19. 10 over 19. Right? And one of the major skills is obviously the sign, getting the signs first. Right? So for C, this is going to be your checkpoint. So I have a negative divided by a positive, so I know my answer is negative. And I would like you to finish this problem on your own. And then just check in with me when you're done, and then we'll have some other problems to work on. So for day 9, module 2, this is Mr. Sims signing off.